1950 FM 99.3 KNSI. It's taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear the show every Thursday morning at 7:23 and again Saturdays at 7:50 here on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, good morning.
Good morning.
You have a list of things to talk about here today. One of them is lifestyle purchases. Can you kind of expound on that just a tad?
Yeah, when we think about lifestyle purchases, I guess I had two things in mind. One, that we're kind of easing into the season of where people are enhancing their lifestyle with purchases of land, lake,
Yep.
second properties, that type of thing. But also just lifestyle purchases in general of how people gradually change where they're living based on what's happening. So, you have a bigger family, you have a smaller family, you start making more money, you move up in pricing, those types of things. And those are really, they're the crux of what keeps the market going no matter what. And that really always starts with the first time buyer.
Is that kind of like a cycle that you expect to have, right? In the old days, everybody lived in their house for 30 years, right? The whole length of their mortgage, only did one house, but then maybe they were able to have some equity in there, they'd buy something different. I use the term forever home, and then you said, oh, wait a minute, there may be one more.
Yeah, so you get into that one that was like the goal property, right? Like the house on a couple acres with a pole shed or whatever it might be. It could be a condo in the middle of the city, but people get that and then they realize, oh, there's a lot of work to this, and then they eventually cycle out of it as well. So we see that. But when you ask about it being a cycle, it definitely is. And I don't know at what point we shifted from people living in their homes for 30 to 40 years, because we still see that. I mean, I wrote on a house like last week that the people had been there since 1957, one owner. I'm wondering if some of the change in how long people stay in a home really is more assimilated with their job changes.
Sure.
It's easier to get places. There's some tax advantages to buying and selling homes.
Yeah, and being able to work from home these days.
Yeah. So people are looking for different things. But that falls into lifestyle too. We saw a huge trend in lifestyle choices for homes where people were like, I can work from home 3 days a week. I don't mind commuting an hour and a half the other 2 days.
Yeah.
Let's go buy on a lake. I mean, that's a thing for
True
people.
Enough.
So
I think of working and not having the 9 to 5 shift, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you work at 10 o'clock at night. In this business, a lot of times you work at 4 in the morning.
For sure.
And if I can do that, which I can now, broadcasting from wherever, it makes perfect sense. And I'm not alone there.
Yeah, no, we see that. And I had a conversation with a gal yesterday, and we were talking about our daughters and where they work and the flexibility that the younger generation really has in a lot of their work schedules, and how employers are accommodating to that, where they'll say, we want your first 90 days to be, hard in the office, but after that, we can flex it a certain amount of times during the week or a certain amount of times during the month, so people can say, you know what, I'm going to go back home to Minnesota from Colorado, and I'm going to work from home. For my mom's home for a while. There's just a lot of flexibility in how people are working, which shows up in housing.
Yeah, you don't even take a vacation, right? Because you're going to go spend a couple of weeks at mom's. That's not really a vacation, because I can still work from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah, so people are able to maximize their lifestyle.
Well, let me ask you this. When it comes to a lifestyle purchase, right? I think a lot of people, I'm going to buy 10 acres, and I'm going to sit on it for, 5-10 years. Is that part of that whole lifestyle deal too?
Well, I definitely see that. And, one thing that I run into when people are talking, especially about land and lakeshore, they're not making any more of that, right?
Right.
So if you get a piece of land that's, say, 10 acres or 20 acres, there's certain municipalities where you can't even break that land down any further. They're saying that is as small as it can get. And it's always going to be sought after. Mm-hmm. So, in my experience, unless there's an exception, I don't see lakeshore and land decreasing in pricing. People that own those will generally sit on them and wait for market corrections versus selling at any kind of a loss. So it's always proved to be a very, very good investment.
I am doing that right now.
Yeah.
I just got my property value, my market value statement, right? The property value without touching it just went up almost 50%.
Yes.
Which blows me away. right?
You want me to say
And all we are doing is just sitting here waiting for the opportunity to build.
Sure. Yeah. No. That. And that's a lot of people with. I mean, I have some land near me that we own too, and it's something that we could go and do. We also see the people that have a camper on a lot up in.
Baudette
Nisswa
or whatever,
wherever,
yeah.
and it's always been a camping site, and then all of a sudden they sell their home in town and they're building a cabin there. I mean,
Yeah.
all those transitional things, and so when we enter into these transactions with people, there's going to be a whole collection of different circumstances, and it's just a matter of helping people navigate that. And I guess the biggest point in all of this is it doesn't matter where the interest rates are at currently or what's going on. People are always making those decisions.
And one of the other most important things, I think, is making memories.
Yeah.
Don't wait to make those memories.
Oh, for sure, because it in a heartbeat, things can be different and over, and let's say take the trip. I guess we could say build the house, buy the house,
You
move.
bet.
I mean, because that's where you're going to be having Easter or 4th of July or any of those things with your family, and it's a good thing.
All right. VoigtJohnson Real Estate, taking you home. Heidi, how do we work with you folks?
Well, you can reach out to us on the phone at 320-774-2400, but visit us at VoigtJohnson.com. We've got a great gallery of agents waiting for you.
Make the journey, my friends. It is definitely worth it. Taking you home Thursday mornings at 7:23, Saturdays at 7:50 here on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, thank you.
Thank you.
AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI.